women and men's basketball get paid equally, or should they not? Prince, do you think the difference in the pay grade should be reflected on player salary?
Um, it should because in the NBA, they the NBA gets paid by their TV, how many people watch, and how much attention comes to the league. And more people watch the NBA than the WNBA, so the NBA and they have more endorsements, so they have more money to pay their athletes than the WNBA.
I agree with Prince, but I also feel like the women basketball players have um, came a long way with more people watching and being entertained by the WNBA.
Kobe, do you think because do you think it's fair that because they're different genders they should be paid differently?
No, I don't think it's fair. I think you can't we can't control what gender we come out to be. So since we're doing the same stuff, we should get paid the same, or we should get treated the same. Yes.
Um, I really they can't really pay the girls equally as much as the men because the NBA games and WNBA games they both viewed on ABC, and in 2023 the NBA views they had the 11 million views, and the Aces when the Aces won the WNBA championship 3-1, there were 700,000 people watching the view, so that's not even close to how many people that's watching regular NBA games compared to the WNBA's final game.
So would you say the audience that the men's basketball has collected over the years should be different? They should be paid differently than women?
Yeah, they're gonna be paid differently because the NBA has been around longer than the WNBA. So I think the WNBA once they get time to catch up to the NBA, I think women will start getting paid more.
But I agree with Prince on the NBA has been around longer, but women women basketball has been. I'm going back to what I previously said that the games have been watched more. A game that just happened was South Carolina. It's talking about college. South Carolina versus LSU was one of the most watched games that day versus, and it was NBA games on, but more people was watching that game than versus NBA. So he can't really say that you know more people are watching because women are yeah, they're more basically.
So depending on like the skill and the dedication and hard work that men put into basketball, do you think they should be rewarded differently?
I don't think they should be worded differently because at the end of the day, it's the same sport. You still have to work out every day, put in the same type of work to get to that next level. But there is a difference in the different games because in the WNBA they aren't as physical as athletic as the men, so they have to play smarter. So they have to do things mentally that gives them an edge on their opponent. Other than the men's, if they're more athletic than their opponent, then they'll be able to have a competitive edge. So it's the WNBA. You kind of have to be more equipped than the NBA, but there's still a hard level to get to.
So you're saying they train differently?
Not yeah, kinda, but it's still a difficult task.
So, like physically speaking, do you feel like women, like physical, like body speaking, do you think like they should get paid differently because of that?
No, like because we can't control that. We can't go out and windmill dunk on somebody. So basically, like we're just getting into the like learning how to like training our bodies to do those things. Men were automatically like physically capable to get up there and do it. So basically, like since they're getting up there and doing it, people are watching. That's entertaining. So that's basically. So I know I don't feel like we should be paid off that.
I agree with that because that's not something you can really control. But I think women do a good job of bringing something to the table to almost compensate for not being that athletic and make people want to watch them. We'll now take callers from our fan base. Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Teed up. You're now live on us with the air. Who's this calling?
Today I'm with Teed Up, and I just want to put my word in and let you guys know that you guys are doing a good job as far as the NBA and WNBA thing, and what I think, I mean, women and men should be paid equally. Just the simple fact that everybody has put the same amount of work in to get to where they got. So I mean, I think they should, be able to be paid the same. But just how Prince was saying that NBA is more watched than WNBA, but the girls are doing something themselves. You know what I'm saying? They putting something, they bringing something to the table. So.
That's great, man. I appreciate you calling today. Have a good day, sir.
Appreciate you.
Well, y'all, that's Teed Up with Jaden, Prince, Karan, and Kobe. And we'll see y'all next time.
Very good. Good job. Action.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our show, Full Court. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Okay, redo that. Y'all need to answer. How are y'all doing this morning?
Good.
Thank you. I'm your host, Aurora Key, and here are my fellow commentators with me, Jaden Lewis, J.Y. Turner, and Christiana Pavillon. Now we have a question for y'all that some of y'all may know of and some of y'all may not know. And that question is, which is better, which is harder, basketball or football? Jaden, what is your take on this question?
I think basketball is harder than basketball.
But I don't think so, because in football you have to the playbook is harder.
No, basketball, the playbook is harder for everybody because they all have to remember the same thing. Like, you have to do it on court.
Okay, but in football the game lasts 90 minutes, and my bad. The length of a football game is 90 minutes, and basketball is 40 minutes long.
But we just gotta consistently run. Football, you have to get breaks back to back.
Well, for football, you consistently run too. You're literally running up and down the field. That's how many yards? How long is that football field?
I feel like the basketball defense is easier.
To be fair though, going back to how long the field is and how much I'm running, football players they get breaks in between plays. Basketball players we just run it nonstop and we just gotta hope it's a break. Football players they know they're gonna get a break at least every minute or so.
Well, at the same time too, basketball players also get less. Well, let me not say less, because in football, even though they have timeouts, you use less timeouts, and the timeouts are way shorter than the ones in football. In basketball.
And the field's bigger.
The field being bigger, it may make it harder for conditioning. It may make it harder for conditioning, but when it comes to skill and stuff, if anything, that'll make it easier because in basketball, the court being smaller, you got less room for error.
Yeah, you gotta be quick on your feet and have fast reaction to coming back on defense.
Okay, my bad. Football demands a diverse skill set though, including passing, catching, and blocking and everything.
Basketball players, in football, you only gotta know your specific position. In basketball, every player gotta know how to do everything, and they gotta be good at it.
So what about in football, they have those big heavy gears on. Mind you, they also outside too they got these big helmets on and everything.
That's
and
true.
it's hot.
And then you have people running at you because you have a ball in your hand, and you have to get tackled, or you have to try not to get tackled.
Maybe true going back to it being outside and them having gear. It's a fall sport and most of the games are at night, so really the temperature really isn't even a factor most of the time.
Well, I mean, they end at night, but they start in the day, and also too, since football is an outside sport, it all depends on the weather conditions. Because let's say it's heavily raining. If it's heavily raining for basketball, you can still play because you're inside. But for football, won't be able to play if the field is too muddy because we're slipping and sliding.
The physical demands too, like the speed and everything.
And football requires more strength and durability because you have to push into your opponents.
But for the most part, basketball requires more athleticism in terms of like speed and jumping and stuff like that.
But they specialize in like positions too. Like they have to be skills to like in their responsibilities to remind them.
Right, because you have to remember each and every play as a football player because you don't know if you're going to get switched out.
Football players, they only gotta know that specific part of the play. Basketball players gotta know the whole play, front to back. Football players, they only gotta know, like if you're a receiver, you only gotta know your route, or if you're an offensive lineman, you only gotta know like what type of block you're gonna do and stuff like that. Basketball players gotta know the whole play.
Well, that's true, but like I said before, you could still get switched out because there's no guarantee to stay in the same position.
Back to the defense also, like you just gotta like make sure in basketball, you gotta make sure like they don't score. Like when you're on football, like you gotta you go against these big quarterbacks and fast and everything. So
And in football, you're more likely to get injured.
But also, basketball players tend to have a longer season than football players. Our season is probably like the same amount of time in terms of like a calendar year, but then we also play multiple games a week and sometimes multiple games a day. So I think that is another reason that basketball.
The games are shorter too. So
Yeah.
that's why y'all have more games.
Well, let's play like more. The more we play consistently, the more y'all have. For football, y'all have breaks like every.
And that is our show today, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed.
Very good. Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up.
Hello everybody, I'm your host Ronnie Pickett and I am here with Nathan and Davion. I will be discussing about the AFC game last couple of weeks ago. Why the Chiefs won? I believe the Chiefs won because of their QB, Patrick Mahomes, was able to complete 30 out of 39 passes and 1 touchdown. As well as Travis Kelce being able to catch mostly everything of what his QB threw. I would like to also add that their offensive line was doing great while blocking. They did not let any defense get to their QB most of the time. And they were able to manage their time wisely. They had the ball roughly about 25 minutes, I believe. And they were focused and disciplined. I will be introducing my co-host, Nathan. He will be discussing why the Ravens lost.
The main reason the Ravens lost is because of turnover. The Ravens had 3 turnovers, including the red zone, and committed 8 penalties for 95 yards. The biggest turnover came in the 4th quarter when rookie receiver Zay Flowers fumbled inches away from a touchdown. The mistakes, the Ravens offense struggled to do anything against the Chiefs defense. Lamar Jackson struggled against Kansas City's very complex defense, and Kansas City's offense was going off that day. The offense made it hard for any sort of rhythm to be built at home. Zay Flowers ended the season with 858 yards, and Lamar Jackson finished the season with 3,678 yards. I'm gonna hand this off to Davion, our other co-host.
Alright, so my thing is for Ravens next season, for them to improve is for Lamar to be able to read his players, for his receivers, and for their coaches, for them to have free will, for Lamar to make plays, for him to run the ball, because that's his strength for the offense. And as you saw for the last week game, is how you saw Lamar run the ball more. So I think for the coaches for to make more plays on the run the ball more.
How do you think, Ronnie Pickett? How do you think the building blocks will build up for the preseason next season? Like, what do you think they can improve on?
The Ravens?
Yeah.
Well, I believe the Ravens should try to stay focused more. They should manage their time and continuously keep the ball in their favor.
What about the running game? How can they improve it?
I would say to improve their running game, I think they would maybe try to point call-outs further and strengthen their trenches. That's all. That is all for the broadcast frame.
I'm your co-host Nathan. This is Ronnie Pickett, and that's Davion. This is it for today. Hopefully you have a nice day wherever you're at. All right, that's it.